Not coming into music this time. Ran into
a copyright issue.
Big copyright issue last week. We're gonna handle it. Come into whatever we come into.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little. It's not even. We're gonna play some little instrumental. You listen to music right now.
Yeah.
It's like It's gonna be off rhythm, but it's okay.
So we're back. Having a little bit of the same structure. A lot of it is the same structure.
Yes.
You know what's coming.
You know what's coming.
Current events, deep dive. We'll go into our Spotify Wrapped playlist.
Of course.
End of the year, see what we've been listening to. And in terms of deep dive, some controversy this week. You know how we like controversy.
Yeah, we love our controversy.
Obama had comments on Defund the Police and the slogan itself. They got a lot of people passionately upset. So we'll go into that, and especially the dynamic of Obama in the black community,
right?
Especially, but you know what it is.
And he said it pretty well. We are the voices of tomorrow.
Words of the unheard.
LA's finest.
My name is Christoph.
My name is Amiri, and you are listening to the New Knowledge Podcast.
Another week, we get closer and closer to the end of 2020.
Dang.
Dang.
You've improved over the
4
years.
weeks. 4 weeks out.
Yeah.
Wow.
4?
Yeah. It's already December.
3.
Or 3. Dang. 3 weeks from the end of 2020. You know what that means? A lot of end of year compilations.
Yes.
The Spotify Wrapped, or if you have Apple Music, your Apple Music,
whatever
it is. Pretty much the end of the year, everybody gets their top artists, top songs that they listen to throughout the year. So we'll be sharing ours.
So it tells you, like I discovered 262 new artists this year. But my Spotify since August, because I discovered the education subscription. So like it's like $5. You get like Hulu, Showtime, and Spotify. Yeah. So it's like from August. I had Apple Music before. So you listen to 130 genres this year, including 117 new ones. It's kind of decent. My top songs were TD with Lil Yachty, Tierra Whack, and A$AP Rocky. I would play that when I worked out or when I was running because it's just a remix of Tokyo Drift, and I just think that's a banger. My second song was Laugh Now, Cry Later. So this is basically my workout playlist. We Paid, and then Diana with Pop Smoke. It's a banger.
Light skin.
And Got It On Me with Pop Smoke. That's a banger. It tells you what you listen to. My top decade was the 1980s.
And mine was the 90s.
Yeah.
90s
retro. You don't know nothing about that? It's top song.
What y'all know about that?
Yeah. Cutie Pie, you know what I'm saying? By One Way. So that song's a banger, bro. Oh, that song's a banger. I can't sing it right now because I'll embarrass myself, but that song's a banger.
Mine was Something by Maxwell.
Oh, yeah.
Something.
And then I got top artist was Pop Smoke. I just, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like reading it. Yeah. So that was my basically my raps. My top artist was Pop Smoke. Of course, I just had Shoot for the Stars, like Aim for the Moon on like that whole album, the deluxe, everything. It was just, it's just a banger, bro. Like I just
for sure.
Did it win any awards? Like it's just such a banger. I don't think it
got nominated for any. Or no, I don't think it got nominated for the Grammys or anything. But I think Dior got nominated for a Grammy. So we know that.
But if Dior doesn't win a Grammy, I'm just gonna be hot. So
I guess I'll just do my the genre besides now was the 90s, something. So my top art. So I switched from Spotify to Apple Music like beginning of the summer. Okay. So like most of my songs on my Spotify aren't like indicative of it.
Same.
So my top artists were Drake, Roddy Ricch, Pop Smoke, Nipsey Hussle, and Future. I don't really listen to Future like that, so I don't know how he snuck in at the 5. But a lot of my songs were some songs off Lil Baby's album. Like Commercial. Pop Smoke, Got It On Me. Yeah. for the night, you know.
Of course.
And I had a bunch of like Jamaican stuff too. Like Popcan was like, I listened like 6 hours of Popcan.
I'm surprised Burna Boy and like,
Burna Boy
are like up there. You know?
I was like, all right, okay.
I was making it for like a cool minute.
Yeah, I got a cool minute of that. So I mean,
I'm about all the genres. So
I guess what would say be your artist or album that got you through the year, or maybe not got you through the year, but your favorite one this year, maybe that spells out 2020.
Definitely Shoot for the Stars, Aim from the Moon. I just think that Pop Smoke album was just like from the time it came out to like the end, I was just like, yeah, bro, like I just had back-to-back bangers. I like 808 heavy music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like it's music you can work out to. It was very like it just has so many other types of music fused in with it. It has some Latin, it has some it's just a clever, well-made, nice homage, nice paying homage to him.
My favorite part, or like the Enjoy Yourself when Burna Boy is on the deluxe.
Oh, bro, exactly. Like it has so many different flavors to it. Like it's I highly recommend.
If y'all haven't listened to it, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
I'm sure there's no way you haven't, bro.
Yeah,
like the Woo, you know what I'm saying? Like you had to listen to something.
I mean, so I guess for me, that was probably like if I could like have or like make like summer a movie, like recorded all throughout, the background music would be that album.
Yeah, bro.
So
that's
I guess,
so true.
Just to get the vibe of like the whole
everywhere we
summer,
went,
like it was just out.
We were just
playing
moving to everything that we did. Like it was just dope.
But I guess to be different and or say something else to like encapsulate like something else of the year, I say Roddy Ricch, Please Excuse Me for being Antisocial.
Yeah.
Came out like January or February or something like that. Super early in the year. But I mean this year's been hella long. So it's like but yeah, I say that album probably, I mean that was like I guess the time I was most happy in 2020. Like just chilling. Senior year, whatever. That album I could listen like front to back because it's just like all blends.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my like 2020 album aside from that album.
All right.
But yeah, let us know what you guys top artists were or top songs were.
Yeah. Drop it in the comments below. If you post this on IG, drop it in the IG comments below.
Yeah.
Keep it going. Let us know what your 2020 Spotify Wraps is, because if nobody else cares, we do. Psych. I
don't care about that. I don't care about that.
Nah. Drop the comments.
Yeah. This is our deep dive for today. Obama, frequently, our forever president. As lots of people want to say. There was controversy over the week. He was on an interview. They asked him about Defund the Police as a slogan, and we'll give you what he said in the clip.
And if you're a young activist today and you believe really passionately in a slogan like Defund the Police, what is your advice to that activist, also knowing that a lot of politicians won't go near that phrase?
It's interesting. We take for granted, if you want people to buy your sneakers, that you're going to market it to your audience. If a musician drops a record, there's going to try to reach certain audiences, speaking to folks where they are. It's no different in terms of ideas. If you believe, as I do, that we should be able to reform the criminal justice system so that it's not biased and treats everybody fairly, I guess you can use a snappy slogan like defund the police, but you've lost a big audience the minute you say it, which makes it a lot less likely that you're actually going to get the changes you want done. But if you instead say, let's reform the police department so that everybody's being treated fairly, divert young people from getting into crime, and if there's a homeless guy, maybe we send a mental health worker there instead of an armed unit that could end up resulting in a tragedy. Suddenly.
So that was pretty much
that was the gist of
the clip, but the part that got the headline was like the snappy using snappy slogans.
Yeah, The Hill, it's a famous news place. You know what I'm saying? That was a terrible way to say that. The Hill, a news outlet, said, they quoted it, so they were like, you lose people with snappy slogans like defund the police. So essentially they are taking it that he's criticizing the way we chant defund the police the same way we kind of chant like Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. So
and I don't like how they do that.
Yeah, so this is the crux of the conversation, the deep dive is I guess, what do you think? So there's two sides to it. The one side is that like the whole trying to pacify for white culture or for other cultures, how so many of African Americans do on a daily basis. It's in like this is not the time or the place to be to pacify. Like the point of like this whole summer and all of the protests and order is to like rip the scabs back. No questions that I mean no like.
Oh yeah, so no niceties basically.
Yeah. Like, so with him saying to that you lose people with snappy slogans like that. So what do you think about that?
Well, I definitely think that we've been chanting defund the police is a popular slogan. If you want to say slogan, you know what I'm saying? It's a popular demand. I think that's what I think defund the police is a demand. Now, I think him calling it snappy is in a way insulting it. You know, like a little. Yeah. It's insulting the chant, and I think that's where the disrespect comes. Because personally, I'm not tripping heavily over what he's saying because I also understand his point of view, but I do think that him outright saying that it was negative or not negative, but something that you lose an audience by saying it, like he's not wrong, but he's also I don't think right now is the right time to say that. It's as if he's not desensitizing it, but like it's already where, like you said, we're ripping off scabs, we're doing all that, and for him to rip off all the scabs or for us to rip off all the scabs and then for him to come in and be like, well, no, you shouldn't say it like this. Yeah. That's where it's weird. I think that's where people can get outraged. Yeah. But to straight up, start every time Obama says something slightly sideways, the black community always finds a way to bring up a bunch of like hatred, and this time it was led by Sean King. Yeah. Sean King said, and you can see it here, Dear Barack Obama, saying that we want to defund the police is not a slogan, as you so dismissively claimed. It's a policy proposal in all caps, that has been worked on by activists and scholars and policy experts for years. Position papers and entire books have been written on this.
Well, I guess I come from a different point of view, because I don't think that... So, in politics, in a democracy, you need massive support to get massive change that we want. Yeah. If we want massive change, we need massive support. And Obama is not wrong that the phrase defund the police in a phrase does not get or loses support with a lot of people who are in the middle. As we saw, even in this election, a lot of Democrats lost their congressional races in tight areas. Yeah. And a lot of that could be, or some of it has nothing to do with it, but some of it has to do with the defund the police kind of rhetoric. And I just think that in terms of the slogan, like if we're behind the idea of defunding the police, but it's because we have the exact idea of defund the police. It really means like reallocating money to different services, different and restructuring the way that we do police. So in effect, we'd be defunding from the police because we would be demilitarizing the police. We would that sort of, but you see how I had to explain that? Like that doesn't come from the phrase just defund the police.
Okay.
Like I'm saying, like even at the beginning when we were getting into it, it's like if it's not really that, like how good of a slogan is it? Like if you're talking to a conservative, trying to get them to understand what you're doing, why you stand the way you stand, and you tell them defund the police. That's what it is. And then they say, well, why would I want to take money away from people who are, risking their lives? And then you come back and say, oh, well, it's not really defund the police. It's blink, 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 blink. So if you have to do that, a lot of people don't get to that point to ask you.
Yeah, because
to explain. You don't get that point to explain it.
Yeah,
all
the
the
chant
time.
is to capture like your initial attention, kind of like the way I talk about how everything is based off of like your first reaction to capture your attention.
Yeah.
So it could turn somebody off if you're saying like defund the police, but
And
after
you support the police, but then
he's saying you lose the audience that you can gain by being more specific.
yeah, because you're
not just
not
saying a
trying to
slogan.
convince people like us.
Yeah.
You're not. Whatever the slogan is, we're behind it, regardless.
Yeah, because we understand it.
Because we understand it, but
He's saying you lose the people.
you lose the other people that you need
Like-
for support in
Yeah.
a democracy.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like, whether it's through like posting, like you haven't really heard me say outright defund the police. I've always said it with a preface
Or with
of
an explanation.
With an explanation.
Yeah.
I haven't just been throwing around defund the police because I know that's not what it is, and I know that on whatever platform we have or whatever platform I have, because I go to school in El Segundo.
Yeah.
I go to school in a place that isn't as I guess is more right leaning in something. So I know that I have an audience where I can like shift the narrative because they know me. That I have the leeway. But it's like you don't get there just throwing around
Defund the police.
defund the police.
Right.
Because in a democracy you need support.
Do you think it's the same way that people were saying Black Lives Matter and it turned off people and they started coming back with All Lives Matter? Because
See, that's because people were saying the same thing about
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter a couple years ago, saying that it was too extreme.
it was too extreme. And that it turns off people.
In terms of that, I don't.
Because so you said so where I'm coming from is the Black Lives Matter chant.
Yeah.
Slogan.
Yeah.
Right? Black Lives Matter is snappy.
Yeah.
Has attitude, it got grit, it got demand, it demands attention, it demands all of that. It turns off a lot of people.
Yeah.
The same way, and more people than this, just defunding the police. Because you're isolating something without explanation.
Yeah.
Right? The same way you're saying defunding the police, you're isolating, why take money away from people who help us, like you said.
Yeah.
Right? Without explanation, but you're also saying Black Lives Matter. So if the president is critiquing a slogan that is also under the umbrella of Black Lives Matter for being snappy, is he not also critiquing Black Lives Matter as a slogan? What's the difference?
See, I see that, but then
Because he's calling it a slogan, and so what line is he drawing between slogan and maybe it's just his rhetoric? Maybe he can rephrase it better.
Yeah.
Right. But he's Obama. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we automatically assume he's well spoken. You know what I'm saying?
He's the guy.
So it's that. Are you saying that Black Lives Matter is also a snappy slogan?
Yeah.
Are you saying that Black Lives Matter also, in the same way that defund the police makes you lose an audience, Black Lives Matter does? And if it does, okay, but you're critiquing it like it's bad. And therefore you're putting a negative image on the slogans that we use that demand justice for like and reform in our country. So I think that's where it's bothersome to his audience and to Black people specifically, because I think that's where we go to, right? Snappy slogan. Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like
I get that. But in terms of
because it says somebody responded to the post from the news, and it says Obama has been elevated to silence Obama has been elevated to silence black dissent, not to empower us. Change my mind.
See,
and people always get radical on Obama.
I think stuff like Black Lives Matter is as much as it is polarizing. I think the reason it's polarizing is because it's black. That's why it's polarizing. It's not like under just comprehending English. Black Lives Matter is an obvious statement, you know? It's the people who have the problem with black that make it controversial. But I think in terms of defund the police, the slogan in itself is like the entire
part is not just one section.
The entire part of it is the problem for people.
Yeah, okay.
In terms of, so I think that, and in terms of just Black Lives Matter is just like it's something obvious. Like it's just Black Lives Matter. It's not Black lives are superior. It's not white people are inferior. Yeah. It's not that. It's just an obvious statement. But something like defund the police is like I'm taking stuff away. Like I'm having. I guess it's more of a defund the police is more of an action phrase, an action slogan, more than is like an uplifting slogan. So I think that's why there is room, because you can just say reimagine the police, because that's what we're doing, and that gets the point across.
You might have just did something.
Like it's not that it's not that difficult.
But you see how much
like
more appealing that is.
See, that's what it and that's what it is, because it's not just defunding the police; it's defunding the police and doing stuff. So that's how you get to other people, because then you can go say like reach across the aisle to right-leaning people who don't, or not even just right-leaning, but people who don't support it. Reimagine the police, because what we do, some of it is good, but some of it is detrimental to everybody, but more specifically African American people, and reimagining the police system is in essence also trying to reimagine the justice system. So those sort of blanket statements are things that people can get behind, because it's not going against, because that's what we're about change. That's what a democracy is.
Yeah.
We're about trying to make things better, trying to a democracy was an attempt to reimagine a way of governing, a way of ruling.
Right.
That's what it's about. So I think that stuff like that is how people can get more behind things, because we should always be in a position to welcome people in, especially in a democracy where you need substantial numbers of people to make substantial change, because democracies in itself are designed to run slow. So
then every slogan that we say or every chant that we have that's brief but has the intention, it's like basically like advertising.
Yeah.
So like everything so what you're saying basically is that because we're in a democracy, when it comes to something political, and I feel like this applies to everything, but it's more important because of like the times now.
Yeah.
That when it comes to something political, it's not so like straight off the bat left leaning, straight off the bat right leaning. It's more. It
should be stuff that just general things that people can get behind.
Okay. So but the whole I feel like the whole purpose of short slogans, right, is to get people to tap and to kind of like to kind of play on the fact that a lot of humans, just like human nature, is literally like your 5-second attention span on an Instagram post, right? It's when you see it, you feel some type of way, and depending on how you feel depends on how you react to the entirety of it in general. Mm-hmm. Now that's good for something like, it's good for something like Black Lives Matter, which has built, I guess, meaning over the years. But for something like Defund the Police, which is rather recent, that is more, it has no substance to it yet. It has no
meaning behind
no power.
Like I said, like it hasn't been around long enough to where I can say defund the police and I mean more than that.
Because it doesn't have the same.
It doesn't have truth to power.
Truth to power. Yeah. So I mean, I think it's also interesting, but like something else that stuck out to me from I think once again Twitter is so Jamal Bowman said, Mr. President, didn't you say Trayvon could have been my son? In 2014, hashtag Black Lives Matter was too much. In 2016, Kaepernick was too much. Today, discussing police budgets is too much. The problem is America's comfort with Black death, not discomfort with slogans. So I think the biggest thing that stood out to me about that entire statement was America's comfort with Black death and not the discomfort, and not like the focus should be America's discomfort with Black death and not the discomfort with the slogans that he pointed out but didn't talk about Black death in the clip, or I guess kind of like throughout that interview.
Because for me, it's a policy change. It's policy. The effects of it are Black death and stuff like. So it's like to change the policy of it, you just need support. And I just think in general that you get, like, if it was defund the police, obviously we see what type of support it gets. Straight cut down the line of left and right. Mm-hmm. Something like reimagine the police, reform the police.
I feel like reform is strong too.
I'm saying those things get universal, or not. I wouldn't say because nothing is universal, but you get more. But more support out of it.
But even in the people who understand defund the police, are like, and even I feel like if you hear defund the police and you think, oh, I don't like it, I'm not gonna pay attention to it at all. Like, you can't ignore the fact of what's been going on. You know what I'm saying, politically. I feel like it takes ignorance to say defund the police and then like not like it. But I think a big part of it though is that the defund the police, I guess, as a slogan. I feel like reimagine the police is better because it doesn't allow for it has too much room for interpretation, and I feel like you said reform the police is an option. I feel like it's too much attached to like defund the police. So if we say reimagine, I feel like it's perfect.
But I think that's what we're planning on. That's what the policy is.
Yeah, so it just captures. I'm just saying.
I think it captures it better.
And I feel like it's a snappy slogan that's catchy. Right?
Because I don't think the problem is exactly with snappy slogans. Because, I mean, Obama...
But they're mad at his phrasing.
Obama ran on, yes, we can.
Yeah.
The snappiest and probably most successful slogans in a political climate. So, he knows what snappy slogans are. He knows...
Si se puede.
Yeah, he knows what...
So that's so wrong.
Si se puede.
Si se puede.
But, I'm saying he knows what snappy slogans can do.
Yeah.
So, it's not like he's saying they don't work. He's saying that it has to include something that galvanizes people, Yeah. I mean, we can go on forever about this.
Yeah.
And go back and forth, but I just think it's important for us to have these sort of conversations as we try to actualize these ideas that we have for society. Enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
Little controversy on the pop culture side, controversy on the political side. Can't ask for too much. Can't ask for too much.
You know what I'm saying? Continue to support us. We have, if you peep it, we have a little new logo on IG. Go check it out. Like our IGTVs, we're coming out with new graphics. Hey, if you peep the polls,
we got stuff coming.
We got stuff coming. Creativity coming.
We got stuff cooking.
And this has been the New Knowledge Podcast.
Welcome. If you're watching this, you made it to the end of the clip.
Glad you made it.
And we hope that you guys loved the content that we put out. We have more audio content, the longer full version podcast on any streaming service. And we have our longer episodes, deep dives on our YouTube channel. So please make sure to subscribe.
like, comment below. Throughout the podcast, we give you chances to respond to the things that we talk about on the podcast.
For sure.
We're also on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Instagram at New Knowledge Podcast, Facebook at New Knowledge Podcast, and Twitter at New Knowledge 101. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy.
New knowledge.
New knowledge.